friend, my name is Victory, Victory, and I have a question for you. Have you ever wondered about that girlfriend who keeps getting these designer bags and you wonder, how does she afford them? Or what about that guy friend who keeps getting new cars and new golf clubs? How does he get them? Or what about that colleague who continues to get those promotions that you know you deserve? I'll tell you how they're doing it. They've figured out how to succeed. And you, my friend, you haven't yet. That's the topic of our talk today. Why you are failing and how in turn you can learn to succeed. People fail for many reasons. And one of the first reasons is that we are too afraid to ask for help. Failure happens when we're too embarrassed or too weak to ask for help. We'll get over it. Rise up and do it. You'll never regret that higher grade or those bigger sales numbers or that feeling of accomplishment. Advisors are not bad people. And mentors and coaches have existed for centuries. Did Socrates not advise Plato? Do business coaches not exist or personal trainers? Do they not exist to help you lose weight and live a healthier lifestyle? Mentors and coaches exist to help you. I'll never forget being in my very first high school math class. And my math teacher genuinely cared about me. He really wanted to help me get better grades. He saw that I was struggling. Did I ever ask for the help? No. But why? Why are we too afraid to ask for the help? Was I afraid that he would know that I didn't know something? Isn't that what he was there for? Or would I be just too embarrassed by the fact that I didn't know? Well, who else was going to know? Get over it. Rise up and rise above. Here's what you need to do. This is my 4-step plan. 1, recognize that you need the help. 2, seek the help. There's always an advisor for something. 3, get the help. And 4, succeed with the help that you get. It's really that simple. You no longer have to have this fear of being embarrassed or not knowing. Squash the fear. Rise up and rise above. This is why I started coaching and mentoring people. I realized that people have these needs, whether it was developing their public speaking skills, learning how to dress for success, or writing a great resume. Once they recognized the fear, they sought the help, me. They got the help that they needed. I helped them learn to dress for success or speak in front of an audience. And then they started to succeed with the help that they received. Stop being afraid to ask for help. That's the main point of this section. People fail because they're too afraid to ask for help. Another reason that people tend to fail is that they lack motivation. Isn't that terrible? Some people lack motivation. They don't have the drive to do things. Can you imagine that? This is the problem with many of us. We are not motivated to do anything. Let me tell you, listen carefully. Everyone, yes, everyone has moments of doubt and moments of negativity, but what really matters is how you rise up from that doubt, how you rise up and take action for yourself. And if you don't, chances are things are only going to get worse. They're not going to get any better. Imagine if you were sitting on the side of a street and you were just bleeding out. Just bleeding out. Would you just sit there and say, oh well, what was me? No, you'd get up. You'd be motivated to save your life and go do something, wouldn't you? That's exactly my point. You need to become motivated about things in your life. Now, you're saying, Victory, well, that's all fine and dandy. Where do I get some of this motivation? Let me tell you. Motivation is not some magic juice or some magic potion. You can't just run down to your local grocery and pick it up. Sometimes you just have to straight up create that motivation. Well, how do you create this motivation, right? That's your next question. Victory, how do I create this motivation for myself? I'll tell you how. Jot this one down. You start setting goals, and not just everyday goals. You start setting SMART goals. You're a smart person, so I know you've heard this acronym before, right? SMART, S-M-A-R-T. We're going to go through this, so grab your pen. You need to start setting SMART goals for yourself. So first, a goal that's specific. Don't be general. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you need, and make that a part of your goal. Make sure your goal is measurable, M-S-M, measurable. Can you say, well, if I hit this goal by a certain date, it's a success, and if I don't, it's not? Or can you say, hey, if we make this amount of sales numbers by this date, then I know it's a success. And if we didn't, it's not a success. It must be specific, measurable, and A, attainable, achievable. Is it something that you can actually attain? are. Is it realistic? You can't say, oh, I'm going to lose 100 pounds, Victory, by next week. That's not realistic, okay? You need to break it down sometimes and say, okay, I'm going to lose 20 pounds by June 30th and another 30 by the end of the year, by December 31st. Be specific and make sure the goals are realistic and measurable. Now, lastly, make sure you jot this one down, time frame. It has to be within a certain time frame. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to lose 100 pounds in 12 years, 20 years. No, give yourself a nice, tight time frame so you can say, okay, if it's achieved by this time, it's a success. That's how you get motivated. Were you not motivated as a child when your parents said, hey, if you do these chores, you're going to get this allowance? Or were you not motivated in your car recently when you saw that gas gauge getting closer to empty, closer to empty, closer to empty? Were you not motivated to go and get gas? That's exactly my point. When we have something in mind, when we have a goal in mind, when we're motivated to do something, we're so much more likely to go and do it. Now, to increase your motivation, I also want you to think about this. You, as of today, are officially a bank owner. Yes, a bank owner, okay? I want you to start making positive deposits into that bank. Take that negativity and throw it out the door. That is not getting us anywhere. It's not getting us any money. It's not getting us anywhere towards our goals and our futures. Start making positive deposits into you, into your bank, here and here. Start making positive deposits so you can make positive withdrawals. I know you've heard the phrase that you only reap what you sow. So if you put negativity in, you're going to get negativity out. Start putting positivity in so you can start motivating yourself to accomplish things. That's why people fail. People fail, number 2, because they lack motivation. So start setting smart goals for yourself, and I know that you'll be that much closer to actually succeeding. Now here is another reason that we tend to fail. Sabotage. Yes, I said it, sabotage. Sabotage comes in so many forms and from so many different people. Your family, your friends, your coworkers, and now more than ever, it comes in text message and social media. It comes at family events and our locker rooms. No matter how much you try to ignore it, sabotage is always all around you. But here's the thing. You can rise above it. You can. You can choose to take the high road. Stop mulling down here with the sabotagers and rise above. Empower yourself to take the high road. Sabotage, let me clear this up, is unwelcomed negativity. And it can come from family, from friends, from social media, from so many different places. But I want you to take a second and think about this. Sometimes sabotage comes from within. It comes from you. Have you ever told yourself that, hey, I'm just not good enough? I'm not tall enough, not rich enough, I'm not handsome enough. That's not for me. I'm not that cool. Stop sabotaging yourself. When are you ever going to be enough? If you don't believe in you, who's going to believe in you? Think about it this way. Your job is to be a superhero. And you are constantly fighting against Dr. Sabotage. You need to constantly fight this battle with sabotage. I get it. But it's your job to win. You're the superhero, right? It's your job to win against these sabotagers. Don't let them bring you down. Here's another point. Stop making excuses for who you are as a person, who you want to become. It's time that you start stepping into your own light and your own glory. You don't owe anyone explanations or justifications. It's time that you stop apologizing for your success. Be unapologetic. Love who you are. It's time that you lived in your own authentic and glorious light and bask in it. Love it. If you don't love your own light, who's going to love it for you? Now, please know that sometimes your light may burn some people. Some people just don't like light, and they're going to run away from it, or they're going to try to sabotage you some more. Well, there's your antidote to Dr. Sabotage, light. Let your light shine. Be this amazing person that I know you are. Now, Victory, you're probably saying, now, Victory, how do you get over sabotage, right? How do I get over all this sabotage that constantly surrounds me? In all honesty, create a success blueprint for yourself. You need to understand who you are and where you are right now. You need to understand where you want to go and how you're going to get there. This is kind of the same plan we talked about earlier. You need to recognize where you are. You need to seek the help, get the help, and then succeed with the help. Remember we talked about that earlier? It's the same 4 steps. You will succeed. You can walk away from failure when you stop sabotaging yourself. That's the main point here. Stop making excuses for yourself. Stop making justifications. Stop saying you're not good enough, because you are. It's time to live in your glorious and authentic light and live in it and shine in it and bask in it. Don't forget that your light can burn some people. It's the antidote, right? The antidote to sabotage. But it's your job to be a superhero. It's your job to be bigger and better than ever. And finally put an end to sabotage. Now, I could go on and on about why people fail, but I'm going to combine this one for you, okay? People tend to fail when they think of lack, like they're lacking something. They don't have enough of something. Some of the primary things that I hear is that I'm lacking education in this, or I'm lacking the time. Now, I know some of you in the audience have said this before, so let's break these down, okay? First, education. I'm not smart enough to do this. I wasn't educated in this. I didn't start my business as a business major. No, I was a political science major in college. I studied international relations. I did internships in government offices. I was all set for my government office career, and I was loving it. And then I was hit with a crossroads. Do I take this opportunity and step into the coaching world because I knew I was passionate about it? Or do I take the path that I studied for and prepared for? Well, I was okay with leaving the job I prepared for behind. Even if it was temporary, I was okay taking that crossroads and saying, okay, I'm going to start my own business. But I wasn't educated in business. I have never been to business school. So very quickly I had to find out about how to start a business in the state of Maryland, how to do certain things like negotiate contracts, or all about branding and image. I didn't necessarily know about it, but the point is I educated myself. So I want you to stop saying, I don't know about this, I'm not going to do it. Education now is just the click of a mouse away. Education is in your hands sometimes. You can educate yourself very easily, so don't ever let it hold you back. Take, for example, my dad. It's one of my favorite stories. My dad came to this country when he was about 13, 14 years old, and so he was fresh out of middle school. He started bussing tables, working at a body shop, didn't really go to college, and now he owns like 8 businesses. Just from buzzing tables and working in a body shop, this man now has 8+ businesses. But he wasn't educated in business, okay? But just because he wasn't educated, he didn't say, well, I don't know about contracts. I don't know how to start a company. I'm not going to do it. He never said that. He never let his lack of education mean his failure, mean his doom, mean his sabotage. Okay, so stop saying that I'm not educated enough, so I can't do this, because again, it's just a few clicks away from your hands to the computer. Educate yourself. That is one of the main reasons people don't succeed. They don't think they're good enough, or they don't know enough. Well, go find out. Go to the library, find an article, do your research. You need a love for learning. You need to learn constantly. Read, get books, whatever you have to do to succeed. The other thing that people tend to tell me is, Victory, I don't have enough time. I'm too busy. I'm doing too much of X, Y, and Z to do this. So that means you're too tired, you're too whatever to succeed, you're too busy to succeed. I can't even believe when I hear this sometimes, okay? Think about it this way. You take time out of your schedule at least once a week to catch your favorite TV show, right? You take time out of your schedule to get your nails done, to go shopping, to do all these other grandiose things, but do you actually stop and plan your success? No, some of you don't, and that's crazy. Take a moment and figure out, hey, you're saying, Victory, I'm busy. What are you busy doing? Pull out that planner. Figure out what you're doing each day, each month. And if that means you need to carve out time in your schedule to say, okay, from 6 to 6:30, I'm going to create content. From 6:30 to 7, I'm going to plan my next webinar. Whatever it is that you have to do it. Maybe 7 to 7:30, I'm going to call people who left me voicemails all day. Whatever you have to do to succeed, do it. Do not let the lack of time or the lack of education ever hold you back. These are reasons why people fail. It's time that we stopped giving excuses and instead start succeeding. Lastly, people fail because they are inadequately prepared. They're just not prepared. Let me tell you something. You have to earn the right to win. One of my favorite sayings is, proper preparation prevents poor performance. You have to prepare in order to succeed. And if you're not going to prepare, guess what? You are not going to succeed. That's like driving down the street one day and you look out your window and you see a marathon. And you say, oh wow, today is the day I'm going to win a marathon. So you put the car in park and you jump out the car and you join the marathon. And you're running and you're running and you win. No. That is highly unlikely. If you never prepare to win, there is no way you're going to run that 26 point whatever miles like that. You must prepare to win. You must earn the right to win. And you earn the right by preparing adequately. Now, when I say prepare, I mean you have to practice. I'm sorry. You have to practice. So take, for example, you have that big event coming up where you're giving the big keynote speech. You can't just get up there and do it. You need to prepare some notes. You need to figure out, who the company is, what some of their goals are, so you can speak on the topic. Or let's say you're going into an interview. You have to know about the company. You have to be prepared so you can answer the questions that this potential employer could give you. Or you're getting ready to do some public speaking. Or you're speaking in front of this group of potential clients. You have to be prepared in order to succeed. It's really as simple as that. And when I say preparing, please make sure you are preparing and practicing as full out as possible. Nothing scares me more than a client who says, don't worry, Victory, I won't do it like that when I get up there. Or what about the person who says, oh, don't worry, I won't walk like that, I won't stand like that, or don't worry, it won't come out that way. No, you have to prepare. That's like the football player saying, oh, don't worry, coach, I'll run it when we get there. Or the singer saying, don't worry, I'll hit that note tomorrow night at the concert in front of 10,000 people. No, you have to prepare, and thus you have to earn the right to win. People fail when they fail to prepare adequately. And now that you know this, you need to take a second and think to yourself, how am I going to prepare? I'll tell you how to prepare. You need that success blueprint. It's really, again, as simple as that. This is where I am, my strengths and my weaknesses. This is where I want to be, and this is how I'm going to get there. Take a moment and think about it. And I want you to actually and adequately prepare for your success so that you can finally walk away from failure. So, people fail because they create excuses. And these excuses can come in so many ways. Lack of time, lack of education, no motivation, etc., etc. Stop with the excuses. It's time to rise up, rise above, and live in that glorious and authentic light that I know you were meant for. Nothing in life worth having is easy, but it's those who stick it through to the end and work relentlessly that will be victorious in the end. I have a couple things here for you. First, I need you to write this down. 410-849-9606. It's my personal cell phone number. And that's pretty exciting. I don't give my cell phone number out to everybody, okay? So 410-849-9606. And for the first 10 people that send me a text message with your name and your email address, again, a text message with your name and email address, I'm going to email you your very own success blueprint. We talked about it so much during this presentation, but I think everyone deserves the right to have their own success blueprint. They have to know where they've come from, where they're going, and how they're going to get there. Okay, so again, for the very first 10 people who text me at 410-849-9606, I'm going to send you your very own success blueprint. And we're going to work together so we can figure out how you can succeed and really where you're failing and how you can succeed, right? Also, don't forget, my book, Why People Fail and How You Can in Turn Learn to Succeed, is available on Amazon. So everything that I covered here, I go into much more detail in an ebook format. It's really simple, really easy. It's available on Amazon and able for you to download. So please take a moment, look through that. I really think that you're going to enjoy it, especially if you love this presentation. I really get into some things just a little more in depth. I know you're going to enjoy it. But go ahead and send me that text message, 410-849-9606 with your name and email so I can send you your very own success blueprint for the very first 10 people that send me this message. So thank you so much, so very much for listening. My name is Victory Ramnarine, and I'm the proud author of Why People Fail and how you in turn can learn to succeed. And I know that when we work together, you will in turn learn to succeed and be victorious in everything that you do. Thank you so much.